Lyndon Baines Johnson, born near Stonewall, Texas on August 27, 1908. As of November 22, 1963, he was the first president to be sworn in on Air Force One. This was after the assassination of John Fitzgerald Kennedy in Dallas, Texas.
To elaborate, Lyndon B. Johnson was the vice president, riding in a car behind President Kennedy when shots were fired at 12:30 p.m. Immediately, the motor vehicles carrying the vice president and president sped to the nearby Parkland Memorial Hospital, where both were tended and treated. It wasn't until 1:20 p.m. that Kennedy's death was confirmed, and a short 20 minutes later, LBJ left and returned to Washington in Air Force One, the official aircraft control sign for a U.S. Air Force aircraft, which contains the president.
Lyndon Baines Johnson, also known as LBJ, enacted on multiple problems by passing the Civil Rights Bill, Economic Opportunity Act, and various programs to help American citizens for the better. The Civil Rights Bill banned discrimination from race and gender in the workplace, and also ended segregation in public. The Economic Opportunity Act in 1964 focused more on the roots of poverty. Now, LBJ also focused on schools, on the poorer community sides. He created volunteer teaching and sent federal funds to help with unemployment and illiteracy problems. LBJ wanted a great society by eliminating the poor people problem. He did this by passing the Wilderness Protection Act, which saved 9.1 million acres of forest land from industrial development. The Elementary and Secondary Education Act provided major funding for American public schools. The Voting Rights Act banned literacy tests and other discriminatory methods of denying suffrage to African Americans. And he also created Medicare, which was created to offset the cost of healthcare for nation's elderly. Now, these are just some of the various programs that LBJ stated.
However, the most prominent and apparent contribution LBJ is remembered for is the increased involvement the U.S. grasped with the Vietnam War. LBJ, a man who highly entrusted capitalism and was familiar with the containment policy, sought to create a hindrance towards the spread of communism. As a result, he stationed countless troops to Vietnam due to rising tensions during the Cold War. The conflict progressed, and as U.S. domestic support became lackluster, an extensive re-examination was necessary. Thus, the U.S. pulled out in insufferable defeat from the Vietnam War. To this day, his biggest mistake became his title.
Lyndon B. Johnson may not be the best president, but is one to go down as a president that changed the course of America.